Hey YouTube, how the heck are we doing? It is Foul Play here, back for some more Pauper action. We're up here today up against Jace MTG. We've got a little bit of an unorthodox hand for Bogles. I guess it's not too bad. We do have the cartouche to play out on the second turn, but we have decent mana, and we're going to be having a turn 3 Armadillo Cloak, just not accelerated by the Utopia Sprawl though. Alright, so looks like we're up against an Orzhov deck, so it's very fortunate we've got this cartouche in hand to play around Chainer's Edict. Do like Forest, I suppose. We don't net anything from it is the only problem, but I guess if we draw an extra aura for next turn, this could be 1 mana more efficient for a future 1-drop. Alright, so easy attacks. Opponent getting in with Inspector, no blocks from us. Now we should note, opponent has 3 mana up. This is a bounce land that taps for 2. Alright, Inspiring Overseer. That is fine. Well, we have 1 extra mana we can use to thin our deck a touch. Alright, we'll go ahead, we'll Armadillo Cloak, we'll attack for 4, that gains us some life. Alright, opponent with another Inspiring Overseer, gaining a life, drawing a card. Juga Bog, that's not an issue. So far they haven't made us sack a warrior token, so that's quite nice. Attacking for 3, alright, we'll take that, we are winning that race, and would you look at that? Alright, well, we'll just play it out this way. We'll attack for 6. Alright, so opponent plays Sparing Supplies. Another Thrabian. Draws off Clue token. Alright, and out of all the auras that we could have possibly have drawn, this happens to be a pretty good one. So we'll go ahead and throw that down. And, I mean, that's pretty much lethal right on this attack. I think technically they have enough toughness to block, so we're not going to throw away the warrior token just yet. But we're going to make our opponent sacrifice their whole board state, really. And blocking order does not matter in that spot. So yeah, if we attack with the warrior token, we're 1 damage short of killing our opponent. Alright, here's the Dawnbringer Cleric. No great targets for it. If they have the Ephemerate, things could get dicey. Alright, Core Skyfisher. And priority comes back to us. I don't think they have anything going on. I suppose we go ahead and draw off of this one. We found a Rancor as well. 1 black mana up. I mean, there might be a line I'm not seeing, but I assume we just attack for the win and easy. Dawnbringer can definitely take damage first, and we've got more than enough damage. No, opponent gained some life earlier on. They go back to 2 again. Alright. We're chilling for a bit. Really highlights the power of Ancestral Mask there, right? It's like certainly a lethal attack with it, and with it gone, opponent's able to stabilize enough. Alright, opponent cracks their clue token, drawing a card, and concedes to us. So here's a similar list to what I assume our opponent is running, with Orzhov Ephemerate here. We did see Thrabian U Dawnbringer Cleric, which is a 1 of in this list here, with Ephemerate. And then Chainer's Edict, Suffocating Fumes as main deck hate. Sideboard hate is, by the looks of things, more Suffocating Fumes and hand hate in the form of Duress and Castigate. I suppose things to note, Ephemerate's pretty good at blinking their creatures. Obviously that can be an issue with Dawnbringer Cleric. Also, Chittering Rats can be very annoying if our hand is too clogged up on 3 drops or white cards, which are difficult for us to cast. If you are enjoying the content as well, want to see more like it, be sure to sub to the channel for some more action. We are going to be wanting Young Wolf here to be brought in. Because of those chittering rats, we definitely want to empty our hand quite quickly. So it's probably worth going down on effects like Ancestral Mask, and might actually just cut that out altogether here, just really reducing that curve so that we can actually deploy our hand before cards get forced on the top of our library that are uncastable. Obviously, Lotus Petal helps us cast things, and it's probably a little bit weak into Duress. We saw the power of Armadillo Cloak. I mean, this game's going to be a little more grindy than the first. Okay, so we see this hand, which is pretty good against Thoughtseize effects. We can deploy our whole hand pretty readily, so it's not too bad. Pretty good against Edict effects. Against Thoughtseize effects, it's less good. Losing Cartouche, not the best. Opponent has mulligan to 6. Obviously, we are keeping. He kicks it off with Thrabian Inspector. We hit land, so that's something. I think this is actually a spot where we want to turn 1 Utopia Sprawl, or Utopia for white. That white can cycle off the Ash Barrens later if we don't want it, and to play out a Plains, find us an extra land. Opponent is Dawnbringer Cleric on our only land, so I mean, if it is a one-of in his deck and he's found it both games, he's high rolling a little bit there. But man, it's important not to get too caught up or too upset about things like that, right? We'll deploy. Next turn we can Cartouche on the Scout and start hitting in. Alright, opponent plays Spare Supplies. And no attacks from our opponent, so let's go ahead and basic land cycle this one. We find another Cartouche, which certainly not bad by any real stretch. Oh, it's likely that our opponent's sitting on an Ephemerate and wants to Ephemerate our auras. If we play one Cartouche and attack, we're in a bit of a pickle as well, because our opponent has 3 toughness here. This is a difficult spot to get out from, really. I feel like he's holding up Ephemerate for Dawnbringer Cleric, destroy enchantment, then it gets rebound and goes again. If we play out more creatures, we play into Suffocating Fumes. I guess we extend 1 Cartouche here. No attacks, and when the Ephemerate comes down, alright, no Ephemerate apparently. Gotcha. So we can't play 2 white auras in 1 turn. But if the Ephemerate was to come down in a spot like that, we would hold our auras in hand for next turn to let the Ephemerate fizzle out so they don't get any additional value off of it. In Lotus Petal, that's a lot later to the party than what we want for that card. Yep, so we'll go ahead. We'll attack for 3. No white mana available for our opponent currently. Blocks on Dawnbringer Cleric. Have you got like a reanimate effect on it? You do not. Interesting. So if we... Omen of the Dead returning. Okay, so that's what they're up to. Gotcha. We could deploy our creatures to play around chittering rats so we can draw into gas off the top of our library. This is potentially bad into Suffocating Fumes where our whole board gets blown up. I don't think there's a right call particularly. At the moment, opponent's really leveraging off Dawnbringer. So like attacks are difficult here and we keep drawing a whole bunch of rubbish. Let's concede the game to Suffocating Fumes and just go ahead and make it hard for our opponent if he's got chittering rats. Just take away that value. Alright, Arms of Hadir. Opponent blows up our whole board. And that's just going to be a scoop from me. We're just drawing dead anyway. There's the Ash Barrens. So, ways to deal with our opponent's Dawnbringer Cleric being reoccurred would be nice. We don't have any anti-ETB effects like Torpor Orb available to us in the format that I'm aware of. We also don't have any graveyard hate to exile it after it goes to the graveyard. At the moment, we're going to just have to try our best to ignore that card and to race our opponent. Do you think we want to be quick this game? I think there's room for maybe like 2 copies of Ancestral Mask. Then maybe we can minus elsewhere. Lotus Petal didn't seem like amazing there. Maybe 1 copy of Lotus Petal trimmed. Guess we could minus an Armadillo Cloak as well, because that's potentially clunky on colors and mana value. Alright, we'll throw this one back. And this hand looks a lot better, but obviously we don't have access to white mana, so it's pretty awkward, really. It's also pretty bad if we don't hit that white mana on turn 2. We can then get turn 2 Edict from the opponent. Opponent balls to 6. I think we need to go to 5 and look for something better. This really is not very much better at all, but I guess we'll keep it. 2 cards on the bottom. Guess we'll go Forest and... Forest. Maybe it's Forest Lotus Petal. Yeah, I'm like not excited about this hand, but we can't really go any lower, realistically. There's also no point firing off a Lotus Petal into turn 1 Utopia plus Young Wolf. It's just like not on the cards, right? Alright, cast this one, play a land, and attack. If we can get a first strike aura here, like Cartouche of Solidarity off the top, we'll be in a much better spot. Alright. Until they get a chump blocker as well, we're still not in a terrible spot. We'll go green on the Utopia Sprawl here. If we ever need to replay Rancor onto a new creature, it could be handy to have double green. Alright, Inspiring Overseer, so we are fogged out of attacking. We can attack. I guess we can attack. We can trigger Persist. Undying, pardon me. And reload on the Bogle. Alright, so this is like really bad into Arms of Hate here, but what are we going to do? Alright, Shayna's Edict, so it's looking pretty sad. I assume they just have 2 copies. Snapping, Revoke Existence, exiling, sure. I mean, like, we've literally drawn 1 relevant card, which is Slippery Bogle, and the rest have been mana cards. We've had really bad draw locks in games 2 and 3 here against our opponent. I think we high rolled like game 1 pretty well, but I mean this is it's unwinnable when you blank on 4 draws like that into something attrition based. Oh, Dawnbringer Cleric. Well, take your pick, opponent. There's not much to pick from. I mean, we can rank or look to attack. Guess technically this is better to play around Chittering Rats. I guess we don't suicide our creature. We can technically high roll from here. And Pestilence. Well, that's just gonna just about do it. Alright, I'm going to concede to Pestilence. That card's just way too strong to beat. Thank you all for watching. Sorry, the deck didn't perform in this particular match. If you did enjoy the content though and want to see more like it, be sure to sub and let us know what you think down below in the comment section. Till next time, have a great day. I'll see you then.